Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're cracking open Docusign's latest SEC Form 10K for fiscal year 2026 to look at how the e-signature giant is undergoing a massive foundational evolution. If you think Docusign is just that thing you use to digitally sign a PDF, well, buckle up. You're in for a really fascinating ride. Let's dive into it. Before we even look at the financial numbers or the product roadmaps, I want you to think about a fundamental question. What actually happens when the company that effectively killed the paper signature decides, you know what, we're going to conquer the rest of the contract process too? How does a company totally flip its identity in an AI-driven world? To figure that out, we're going to break this explainer down into 5 parts: beyond the signature, 3 pillars of growth, the AI advantage, the go-to-market engine, and finally, risks on the horizon. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1, beyond the signature, and how they're evolving from e-signature to IAM. So, looking straight at their official January 2026 financial filing, it's super clear they aren't treating this as just some flashy new feature update. No, this is a massive, total company transition. They're completely redefining their entire total addressable market. The beating heart of this whole pivot is something they call Intelligent Agreement Management, or IAM. DocuSign doesn't want to just be a tool anymore. They want to be this system of record. Think about it like what a CRM is for your sales team, IAM wants to be for your contracts. It's a platform to manage the entire life cycle of an agreement. You ingest them, build workflows, and pull high-accuracy insights. I mean, think about how much time you've personally wasted just trying to track down one specific clause in some old PDF. That's exactly the headache they are trying to eliminate. And really, they've got the leverage to pull this off. When you look at the absolute nightmare of manual, paper-driven processes, slow, error-prone, tough to audit, and compare it to their digital workflows, it's night and day. Right now, 76% of e-signature transactions finish in under 24 hours. And get this, 40% are done in under 15 minutes. They've already proven they can speed up business. Now they want to manage the whole thing. Moving to Section 2, 3 pillars of growth, Docusign's blueprint for expansion. So, how do you pivot a massive ship that already has over 1.8 million existing customers and 1 billion users? In the 10K, they lay out a super clear 3-step blueprint for expansion. 1, accelerating product innovation. 2, strengthening their omni-channel go-to-market strategy. And 3, increasing operational and financial efficiency. It's pretty much the classic structured enterprise playbook. Zooming in on that first pillar, we're not just talking about minor tweaks. They're launching a whole new ecosystem here. We've got the IM platform, powered by their own proprietary AI engine called Iris. Then there's Navigator, which is basically a smart storage system that pulls insights right out of your agreements. There's Maestro, letting you build custom workflows with zero coding. And they're opening up the Docusign App Center, so third-party developers can build on top of their platform. It's the whole shebang. And just to quickly touch on that third pillar, operational efficiency, it's really impressive to see their sustainability targets. They've actually slashed their direct emissions by 90% compared to their 2021 baseline. Plus, they note they've been matching 100% of their energy use with renewable credits since 2022. It really shows a level of operational discipline that matches their huge product ambitions. Okay, Section 3, the AI advantage and how they're building an unbeatable moat. Honestly, this right here is the most fascinating part of the explainer. Because look, in a world where everyone claims to have AI, how does DocuSign actually stand out? Well, it starts with this crucial number, 15%. According to their filings, that is the percentage point improvement in precision and recall that their AI engine, Iris, has over standard models trained merely on public contract data. When you're dealing with legally binding contracts, a 15% bump in accuracy is absolutely huge. But that 15% advantage doesn't just magically appear out of thin air. It comes from a massive proprietary data moat. DocuSign is approaching 200 million opted-in customer agreements ingested into their Navigator system, and they are pulling in tens of millions more every single month from their 1.8 million global customers. You literally cannot buy this kind of highly specific real-world contract data. It's a massive structural advantage that your standard general-purpose language models just do not have. But having the data is only half the battle. The other half is trust. Their 10K points out a survey showing that 70% of professionals will only trust a dedicated enterprise AI over a general-purpose one when it comes to sensitive stuff. So, DocuSign secures this massive data moat with top-tier federal compliance. They achieved FedRAMP Moderate and GovRAMP authorization in fiscal 2026, meaning they're fully cleared to handle highly sensitive government and enterprise data. On to Section 4, the go-to-market engine and capturing the enterprise. So, the product is built, the AI is trained, the trust is established. Now, how do they actually sell this complex IAM platform? They're using a three-pronged omni-channel attack. First up, direct sales. That's where their human account executives target large enterprises for massive deployments. Second is the partner channel, which is absolutely critical. We're talking integrations and co-selling with the biggest players in tech: Salesforce, Microsoft, SAP, Google. And third, their digital e-commerce channel. This is their self-serve, product-led growth engine with frictionless 14-day trials. Amazingly, this automated channel generated 15% of their total fiscal 2026 revenue all on its own. Finally, Section 5, risks on the horizon, taking a look at the existential threats. Now, as much as we love looking at product vision, a 10K is a legally binding document that has to tell us everything that could possibly go wrong. And these rapid-fire risks really highlight a company in a very delicate transition. For starters, what if customers just want a simple signature tool and ignore the IAM platform completely? Or what about the technological threat? What if major AI providers make basic text analysis so cheap that Docusign's tools just get commoditized? Combine that with intense competition from massive global players like Adobe Acrobat Sign and, of course, the ever-present nightmare scenario of a major data breach. The reality of that first risk, being overly reliant on their legacy product, is pretty stark. Right now, 98% of their revenue is subscription-based, and that is heavily driven by the good old e-signature product. Only 2% comes from professional services. So while IMM is this incredible, visionary future, it's still in its early growth phase. They are basically trying to change the engines on the airplane while cruising at 30,000 feet, relying almost entirely on legacy revenue to fund this massive AI pivot. Which brings us to a final, really provocative thought to wrap up today's explainer. Docusign has the data, they have the distribution, and they clearly have the vision. But as AI inevitably commoditizes basic text analysis, can they successfully evolve from just being a verb for signing a document into the ultimate, indispensable AI brain for global business agreements? That right there is the billion-dollar question for fiscal 2026 and beyond. Thanks for hanging out with me for this deep dive, and I encourage you to keep exploring how these massive platform shifts are completely reshaping the business landscape.